You wake up one morning and feel something wrong. Your skin itches, but when you scratch, it's like your flesh is moving beneath your fingers, breathing, shifting, alive. This is the story of Mia, who discovered that her own body had begun to betray her in the most terrifying way imaginable. Mia was a graphic designer, living in a small but cozy apartment nestled in the heart of the city. Her life was ordinary, predictable, until she found an old mysterious book at a yard sale titled TheFlesh'sWhisper. Intrigued by the strange illustrations of human anatomy intertwined with surreal, almost alien forms, she bought it for $1, thinking it would inspire her art. That night, as thunder rumbled outside, she flipped through the pages. The drawings seemed to pulse, almost as if the ink was alive. Suddenly, a sharp prick on her forearm startled her. Looking down, she saw a tiny black dot beneath her skin, like a seed planted inside her flesh. Days passed, and Mia's body began to change. It started with small things. Veins darkened and writhed beneath her skin like snakes. Her fingertips twitched uncontrollably, and sometimes her reflection in the mirror was just off. The eyes looking back didn't quite match her movements. They blinked late or stayed open too long. One morning, Mia noticed her nails had thickened, curving unnaturally like claws. When she tried to peel one off, it didn't come easily, as if it was part of her growing new armor. Panic set in. She covered herself with long sleeves and gloves, avoiding mirrors. But the changes accelerated. Her skin grew translucent in places, revealing glimmering, iridescent flesh beneath. It seemed to pulse with a life of its own, like her body was becoming something not human. Mia's joints cracked and elongated painfully, and strange textures rippled across her arms, as though scales or tendrils were forming just beneath the surface. One night, in a desperate attempt to understand what was happening, Mia opened the book again. This time, the pages flipped rapidly by themselves until they stopped on a chapter titled Symbiosis of Flesh and Form. The text warned of a curse. Once the seed was planted, the body would become a host for a parasitic entity, reshaping the host into a vessel for its survival. The choice was horrifying. Embrace the transformation and merge with this otherworldly entity, gaining strange powers but losing her humanity, or fight against it and slowly deteriorate into a monstrous decay. Mia's body convulsed as new limbs began to bud beneath her skin. Thin, spindly arms sprouted from her ribs, twitching and exploring. Her face contorted, bones shifting painfully as mandible-like structures emerged from her cheeks. Yet amidst the horror, Mia felt a strange clarity. The entity whispered promises of power, of transcending human limits. She tried to resist, but the whispers grew louder, more persuasive. One evening, as she stared into the mirror, her reflection smiled back with a mouth full of sharp, alien teeth. She realized the transformation was nearly complete. But just before surrendering, Mia made one last decision. She grabbed the book, ripped out the cursed page, and burned it. The flames flickered violently, and her body convulsed once more. The extra limbs withered, the translucent skin faded, and the monstrous features shrank back. But the black seed remained, pulsing beneath her skin like a ticking time bomb. Mia survived, but the terror lingered, not just in her body but in her mind. Was the parasite truly gone? Or was it biding its time, waiting to awaken again? As the days stretched on after that harrowing night, Mia found herself haunted by more than just the physical transformations. The shadows in her apartment seemed to twist unnaturally, and sometimes she heard faint whispers carried on the wind, soft sibilant voices calling her name. Sleep became a battleground. Nightmares clawed at her mind, visions of alien landscapes and impossible creatures invading her dreams with relentless persistence. Determined to fight back, Mia scoured every library and online archive she could find, searching for any mention of TheFlesh'sWhisper, or the parasitic entity that had invaded her body. Her research uncovered ancient legends and obscure folklore of symbiotic curses, beings that could meld with human hosts and reshape them into vessels of otherworldly purpose. The more she learned, the more she realized she was not alone. Others throughout history had suffered similar fates, their stories lost or dismissed as madness. Her friends grew concerned as she withdrew from social life, her appearance growing more unsettling despite her efforts to conceal it. Mia's voice sometimes faltered, her speech laced with strange inflections, as if the entity inside was attempting to influence her thoughts and words. She resisted fiercely, clinging to the fragments of her identity. One evening, while poring over an ancient manuscript she had borrowed from a hidden corner of the city's oldest library, Mia discovered a passage hinting at a potential way to sever the bond between host and parasite. It spoke of a ritual, one that required the sacrifice of something deeply personal, a symbolic offering to sever the parasitic connection and reclaim the self. Fueled by a desperate hope, Mia prepared for the ritual. She collected items of significance, a locket from her childhood, a sketchbook filled with her earliest drawings, and the remnants of the burnt page from *TheFlesh'sWhisper. Under the light of a full moon, she followed the cryptic instructions, chanting words that felt foreign yet strangely familiar. As the ritual progressed, her body trembled violently. The black seed beneath her skin pulsed with increasing intensity, as if resisting the severance. Pain surged through her limbs, the tendrils beneath her skin writhing as if in protest. But Mia held firm, summoning every ounce of willpower. Then, suddenly, a searing flash of light erupted from within her. The parasitic entity screamed, a soundless, mind-shattering cry, and the black seed cracked, fracturing into shards that dissolved into nothingness. The unnatural pulses ceased. Mia collapsed to the ground, exhausted but free. In the days that followed, her body began to heal. The translucent patches faded completely, her skin regaining its normal texture and color. The extra limbs disappeared, her joints easing their painful stretches. Yet, despite the physical recovery, Mia knew the experience had changed her irrevocably. She carried new scars, both visible and hidden deep within her psyche. Though the parasite was gone, the whispers never fully left her mind. Sometimes, in quiet moments, she could still feel a faint stirring beneath her skin, a reminder of the darkness she once hosted. But Mia was determined. She vowed to use her experience to warn others, to uncover the secrets of the symbiosis that nearly consumed her. She began documenting her journey, blending her graphic design skills with newfound knowledge to create hauntingly beautiful illustrations and narratives. Her art became a conduit, a way to exorcise the lingering shadows and reach out to anyone who might face similar horrors. Mia's story spread, whispered in the corners of the internet and shared among secret communities that studied the occult and the unknown. Some dismissed her as delusional, others believed fervently, and a few even reached out, sharing their own tales of alien infestations and bodily betrayals. One night, as Mia prepared to close her apartment for the evening, she caught a glimpse of her reflection in the window. For a fleeting second, the black dot beneath her skin pulsed faintly, a subtle reminder that the nightmare was not entirely over. She touched the spot gently, steeling herself against the fear. Whatever came next, Mia was ready to face it. Not as a victim, but as a survivor, a warrior against the unseen horrors that lurked just beneath the surface of the flesh. Her body might have been a battleground, but her spirit remained unbroken, a beacon of resilience in the encroaching darkness.